Hello, everybody.
Hello. Hello.
We can have make a short statement and take maybe a few questions. I think I speak for both of us that we are quite emotional after this this first social visit that Julian has allowed after having been in here for a month. It is for me shocking to see my friend, an intellectual, a publisher, a journalist, a man that has transformed the world of journalism with his work, sitting in a high security prison, spending 23 hours a day in a cell, having half hour outdoor if weather allows, and half hour to do everything else. This is no justice. This is an abomination. Someone said that you could judge the civilization of a society by visiting its prisons. And frankly, I have to say from my heart that this visit did not reflect well on the society here. This must end. This will be a fight. I can say that Julian Assange is bent, but not broken. He's an extremely resilient person. And I want you to think about the fact that such resilience usually comes from the fact that he knows that he is innocent. He knows that he has done nothing wrong. He knows that he's being persecuted for the simple fact of doing journalistic work. That should be the message that you should relay to the general public. Thank you.
Obviously, it's been very difficult to see Julian here, and to make our way through the prison to get to him was quite shocking and difficult. He does not deserve to be in a supermax prison. He has never committed a violent act. He's an innocent person. He hasn't access to a library, computer, any information. He's really cut off from everybody. He hasn't been able to speak to his children. And public support is very important. Fundraising is very important. He needs all the support he can get. Justice will depend on public support. And he's a good man. He's an incredible person. I love him. I can't imagine what he's been going through. And to see him was good to see him. It was great to see him. But he's this is just misrule of law in operation. It is absolute shock that he has not been able to get out of his cell. It's been 1 month. It's going to be a long fight, and he's deserves our support, needs our support. So whatever anybody can do to maybe write to him, encourage him. He's appreciative of any support that he's received. I think he hasn't received any too much yet in the way of letters, but I know people have been writing. It's a process for him to have any kind of communication. It's very difficult, and anyway, we just have to keep fighting because it's unfair. He's sacrificed so much to bring the truth out, and we deserve the truth. And that's all I can say. I'm sorry. I feel sick. I feel nauseous.
So maybe just a couple of questions.
Is there any questions?
If they have any questions, or
what sort of conditions is Julian in there?
he is not in a. Of course, you have to take into account that the years and years that he was in the appalling condition in Ecuadorian embassy, especially the last year, where he was being basically harassed every day and everything done to make his life there miserable. So I mean, he has as you could see in court, basically has lost weight. But his spirit is strong, and that's the most important thing. And we told him about our feeling that there's a growing support among the general public and the population, and he was heartened to hear that. And that gives him added strength.
How tough is he finding it at Belmarsh? Obviously a high security prison, and said last week that he's in a cell for 23 hours of the day. What's that like for him?
What is it like for anybody to be in Belmarsh prison, especially when you are there because another country demands your extradition for journalistic activity? It's outrageous.
Technically he's there for, skipping bail. That's why he's there.
Technically he is there under conditions for seeking asylum, which is an international right. If he was simply serving that time, he would be allowed more visitors. He has not been able now to properly prepare his case, which is of course the most important fight to fight against the extradition to the United States.
And of course the news came out this morning that 2 Reuters journalists were freed in Myanmar, a country which ranks 137th on the World Press Freedom Index. So why is it that Myanmar can free 2 journalists, but the UK finds so much difficulty in freeing Julian Assange?
Well, that's a good question. You should probably ask that ask the UK government why that is.
Can we just ask how worried he actually is about facing such potentially long sentence in the US?
We need to save his life. That's how serious it is.
It is a question of life and death. That's how serious it is.
Okay. Thank you.